back into Jeremiah. Let's run back. We'll run back through it for you. Because what's going to happen is that, and I'll get Daniel.
This is Jeremiah chapter 30. I'm going to start at...
you read the scriptures?
Not much, I need to, but...
Yeah, you have to.
I'm start at 1.
Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 1. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord power of Israel, saying, Write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book.
Yeah, and this is the book that we're reading out of. All right, he was telling them to write all these words in the book, right? Go ahead.
For lo, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith the Lord, and I will cause him to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it.
So when you're talking about bringing back the captivity, okay, because the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, those are the actual Israelites, those are the true Israelites. They were put into slavery.
Right.
Now when you read the Bible, the Lord had these people put into slavery over and over and over again because they was constantly worshiping other gods and not doing the things that was commanded of them to do, right? And so that's what the transatlantic slave trade was about. That's because the nation of Israel was doing all types of wickedness, right? They delivered up so-called Jesus Christ to the Romans to be crucified. That's part of the reason why the hell was so bad in the transatlantic slave trade. So this is just another punishment that the Lord put upon his people. Now we're in the times where the Lord's going to bring that back. He's going to take away the oppression. Go ahead.
Yeah, because it says that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah. Now also the reason why it says Israel and Judah is because Israel is synonymous for the northern kingdom. You got a lot of Israelite groups out there that teach that the 12 tribes are only black people, so-called black people. But if you look at the sign, you got Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Haitians, West Indians.
Right.
We're all the same people, okay?
Right.
We were in captivity together. That's why they have what you call the transatlantic slave trade.
Yeah, and it clearly tells you in the scriptures that the northern kingdom is those people. All right, the ones that are over here in the Americas and North America and South America. Because prior to them coming here, nobody ever dwelt here. And it tells you that the Israelites of the northern kingdom, they went to a land where no one ever dwelt.
Right.
And that's where they came to live and to try and keep the law, statutes, and commandments that they weren't keeping in their own land. So these people, the northern kingdom would have to be the north and south indigenous, Americans. They would have to be.
Yeah, because you look at our people, we're in the ghetto together. We share the same struggles. We got one common enemy. One common enemy that put us all into slavery. All right, the Spanish were what? White people that put Latinos in slavery. You had the English, the Brits, that were putting the Negroes in slavery, okay, and the Native Americans. All right. It says, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. And these are the words that the Lord spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith the Lord, we heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace.
See, so it says that you heard a word of trembling and of fear and not of peace. Now all you hear in these different churches, all these different religions, is talking about love and peace. Well, the Bible talks about 90% of it, 80% of it is death and destruction. All right? It tells you the prophet that prophesies of peace and it doesn't come to pass. Well, he's a liar. He's a false prophet, right? Because this is telling you straight up, there ain't no peace coming, especially not to America, because America is stolen land. How can peace ever come out of a stolen land? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Tell me this: what nation you come from?
I'm from the tribe of Ephraim.
Ephraim? So that's Puerto Rico. And what tribe you come from?
Through the spirit, I believe I'm from the tribe of Benjamin.
Benjamin. So what is your father?
My father, he would be from the line of Benjamin.
He from the West Indies?
He would have to be from the well, just because it says the West Indies, they're not originally from the West Indies. These are all from the land of Israel.
Okay.
Now, before you start going in, because I already know where you're going, this is the problem with people that don't read the scriptures, because you don't understand what the scriptures intend. Now, go to.
Are you? Don't you supposed to be like the seed of your father?
Yeah, the seed of the fathers.
Right.
Now, if what tribe do you think you're from?
Judah.
Automatically you think you're from the tribe of Judah. But what if you're not? Do you know that the nation of Israel has been mixing together amongst their own tribes for thousands of years since the beginning, right?
Yeah, but like they say, so-called Negroes, like when you look at a so-called or an African for that fact, we're not the same blood. I mean,
no, you're not.
Yeah, an African look like an African, a brother look like a brother. Just gonna put it like that. I could look at this brother right here, tell he's from Judah, he's not an African. You know what I mean? I mean, you don't grow up and somehow just change out of being African. I see men 60 years old that look African, I know they African. And there's men 60 years old that's so-called black.
But
you see what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. But you realize that the tribe of Benjamin, the tribe of Levi was in Africa, right? They got taken from Africa.
Right.
What if I told you that there's a lot of those people that look African that are actually Israelites, that are actually from the tribe of Judah? What if I told you that?
It's a big possibility. I mean, there's a lot of blood.
Of course it's a big possibility.
Yeah, so it's a lot of blood.
Go to Revelation 7, please.
Every nation under heaven.
Yeah, every nation came to this time.
Alright.
Now, if all the Israelites is going to come out looking like these people are supposed to look naturally, right? Then explain this scripture to me. Go ahead.
Alright, this is Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man can number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes.
Clothed with white robes, meaning they were clean. Okay, go ahead.
And palms in their hands.
Palms in their hand, meaning that they had the truth. Out of every nation, kindred, and tongue. So explain that to me.
You asking me too?
Huh?
You asking me too?
I'm asking you, explain that scripture to me. I mean, if every Judite is going to look like a Judite, how you would perceive a Judite should look, then explain that scripture to me. In fact, you can go into Acts chapter 2.
I can't explain about it because I don't know about it.
Well, that's exactly. So the thing about it is that the nation of Israel was mixed with all these other nations. That's why you're right. It comes from the seed of the fathers. But the seed of the father, just because you look a certain way, if you get with another nation, all right, and those generations, they keep on going on that route, those generations get changed, man, because of DNA. All right, that's why you get what do you call it? You come out with the features of those nations, all right, that you have in sex. I got a cousin, all right, she's a so-called white woman. I believe she's an Edomite. Now, she got with a Judite, right? Straight up Judite, you know what I'm saying?
What's a Judite?
Huh?
What's a Judite? What is a Judite?
Judite.
A Judite, yeah, what's that?
So-called Negro, right?
Oh, Judite.
Yeah, Judite, right? All right, and when she had kids, now this is first generation, they had twins. All right, one of them came out light-skinned, and you could tell she looked like, she looked like so-called Negro. She was light-skinned. The other one came out looking straight up white, bro. Well, that's one generation. Now imagine if he has kids with another white woman. But because it's the seed of his father, his dad, his actual dad is a so-called black man. But if you looked at him, you would call, there's camps that would call him an Edomite, and they would turn him away because of what he looks like. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can't, hey, the Lord says he doesn't judge as other men judge. You see what I'm saying? He looks at who you are on the inside. Says you are not a Jew who is one on the outward appearance, but one that is one inward. Right? Because it's the spirit. It's the spirit that's going to show. I mean, you spend enough time with somebody that's so-called white man, you can tell like, oh, this is a devil. You know what I mean? You spend enough time with somebody that might be an Irish Jake, or might be Italian Jake, or a German Jake, because during the Dark Ages that Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, they was ruling all over Europe. Did you know that? Yeah, they was ruling all. Like French, Spanish, German, like all those different languages. Those aren't languages of the so-called white man. Those are languages that these people came out with. Because the so-called white men, they got pushed into the Caucasus Mountains. It tells you in Job that they was braying like cavemen. They was grunting. They didn't even really have a language. They was educated by these people.
This is Isaiah 11, verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
From the four corners of the earth. This is the ensign that the Lord will set up, right, for the nation, because he said he's going to gather his people together by the word. See what I'm saying? And Yahweh, which is the word. All right, go ahead.
It says, and it shall gather it says, and gather together the dispersed. You know what dispersed means? What does it mean?
You know,
to scatter off.
Yeah. So if you say you scatter your seed, right? Like people scatter seeds in a farm or on land. If you scatter your seed, a whole bunch of women from other nations. Say you go and you lay down with a Chinese woman. You have a child with her. The child come out, gook eyes, look like a little gook, but he dancing, he can rap. He got soul, flavor. He got a soul to him. Is he a gook or he a Judite?
What his father is.
And you're saying you're a Judite, right? So he a Judite. Well, we're telling you through the scriptures, according to the truth, that our people were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. You're going to have Negroes that laid down with white women, just like during the time of the Moors. And that seed was shot up into a white woman. Child come out looking white, but he a Judite.
that's where you get the Italians from Sicily from. Those are actually so-called black people. Because the Moors went up in there and they was having sex with all them white women over there. So much so that the seed was changed forever. The same thing happened in Ireland. The same thing happened in Scotland. Because Scotland literally means black land. Like King James, he's a black man. Ireland, you go, the word Dublin, dub in Gaelic means black. See what I'm saying? So the scriptures go really deep. It's just that when you come to the whole color, when you come to other camps and talk about all the Israelites are going to be looking a certain way, that's because they ain't that deep in the scripture.
Well, you guys, keep doing good work, man. We need that out here. All right, man.
This is
And it's cool too because it goes right along with the topic. This is the hot topic right now. The whole Israelite foreigner is like the hot topic right now.
yeah, this is
consistent. So she does like event coordinating and marketing.
So we had a demon just came up and changed the spirit.
yeah. Where's it at? Confusion of faces.
That's a Daniel. That's Daniel.
Yeah, I know. 7 and 12.
I think it's in 7. Might be. Well, I can't. Let me look it up.
Go on. Yeah, because you got Israelites that are scattered throughout the four corners. This says Judah was dispersed throughout the four corners of the earth.
Daniel 9.
Okay, come on. This is Daniel chapter 9, verse 7. Remember and forget not how thou provokest the Lord thy power to wrath in the wilderness from the day that thou didst depart out of the land of Egypt until you came unto this place. Ye have been rebellious against the... Oh, okay, Slock, I was in Deuteronomy. That's why I didn't find it. You can get it from Bible Show.
I'm over here in Acts.
You know? Because Israel was scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So you're gonna have a confusion of face. Yeah.
This is Acts 2 and 5. And it says, and there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, out of every nation under heaven.
Yeah, and Jerusalem was the capital of the tribe of Judah. Just like you had Samaria, the capital of Israel. Okay? So it said there was dwelling in Jerusalem, Jews, devout men. Devout means God-fearing, out of all nation under heaven. Does a so-called white man fear God? Do these gooks, do these other nations fear our God? No, man. The only people that fear our God is these people. So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
I mean, truly and definitely the elect.
And when I mean devout, God-fearing, they actually believe that the God of the Bible is real, even though it's not according to knowledge. Okay? So it said, Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. So you had Israelites, Judites, Benjamites, Levites that came from all these other countries. That looked like Sean Paul, the Elamite. That looked like Bruce Lee, which is a Jake. That looked like Sylvester Stallone, which is a Sicilian, man. You have Israelites that look like so-called white people, man. A lot of these biker gangs, okay, a lot of them bikers are actually Israelites, man. You know, a lot of these Irish people, a lot of Scots, they're Israelites. Not everybody that says they're Irish or Scot is an Israelite. Not everybody that says they're Sicilian or Italian are Israelites. But amongst them, not everybody that says they're Chinese is a dang Moabite, man. There's Israelites that were scattered amongst them, man. Out of all nations under heaven, man. Okay?
Yeah, because you got to think about it. If you're dwelling in another land, say you go into China and you have children, all right? Now you're dispersed to these lands and you're very small in number when you get dispersed because it said I'll make you small among the heathen. Your kids are going to start taking women to these other nations, man. And they're going to start multiplying and multiplying and multiplying. And guess what? Guess what you have then? You got a whole family. You got whole generations that look like other nations. That's just the way it is. That's just the truth. That's just reality, man. If you can't accept reality because you're bugged out and you just want all of Israel to look like so-called black people, well, guess what? The truth isn't about what you want.
This is Daniel chapter 9, verse 7. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces, as at this day, to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespass that they have trespassed against thee.
Yeah, see, through all the countries where the Lord has driven them, confusion of faces, because the Lord put his hand upon Israel, had them sold off into slavery, all right, was killing them with the sword, using these other nations, dispersing them throughout all these other nations, and because Jacob mingled amongst the other nations, man. And so you got, I mean, there's an account, I can't remember where it's at, but there were some strangers that came, and they said that they couldn't be a part of the congregation until they got Urim and Thummim and could tell what tribe or what family line he was from, because they couldn't tell if he was a Jacob or not by his flesh.
And also to get the inheritance, to get the inheritance in certain portions. That's why it's important that during the Passover you call a tribe. That's why it is important that you know what tribe you're from, or a tribe that you feel like you're from. Being 12 tribes is important, man. You're not going to have 144,000 Judites. You're going to have 12,000 from each tribe. You know? But unto us, confusion of faces, man. Okay, we can't just look at every person and think it's an Edomite. Or every person we see being a Japhite or a Moabite. You know?
You can't look at every so-called black man and think he's a Judite. He could be another tribe, or he could be a heathen nation.
Like G-Man. G-Man does not have the spirit of an Israelite, man. He acts like an Edomite, man. A terror. Which according to the scriptures, you have terrors. Alright? And Esau knows he has terrors. Okay, a lot of them black women during slavery were getting raped by white slave masters. And then the white man had a lot of children that came out black. And what did he do? He didn't give a fuck about them. He had them in the field too. have them in the fields too. Okay? They have no salt, no flavor. And what they do, they went and they bred with Judah as well. And the other tribes. Okay?
Edomite foreigners.
Yeah, Edomite foreigners.
So, Jeremiah 12:9, mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. So the heritage, when it says my heritage, talking about Israel, talking about his people, man. All right? They're unto him as a speckled bird. Meaning you're not going to have Israel, all of Israel coming out looking like so-called black men, looking like what you would say is a typical Judite, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and you got a lot of these Israelite groups out here that have a problem with the Northern Kingdom, man. All right? Because they believe that everybody's supposed to be so-called black. But that's not right. That's not the truth. And really, you're the same guys of the circumcision. There was oppressing the strangers, man. All right? There was oppressing the Northern Kingdom. There was oppressing the Gentiles, man. So Jeremiah 12:9, my heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. Because even among Judah, when you look at Judah, there's Judites that are very light-skinned, man. Right? All kinds of different shades of brown. Even the tribe of Judah has a speckled bird. All these tribes are. It's like you got like a so-called Mexican. You got like a real light so-called Mexican. He looks like a so-called white man. But you talk to him, he's speaking Spanish, hella fluent. You know what I mean? Straight up.
Like Canelo Alvarez, the boxer. He looked like a straight-up white boy, but that's Issachar. You can tell by the way he fights. You can tell by the way he dresses. He'll be out there wearing those funky-ass chuntara boots with those fucking rattlesnake belts and shit. Dressing, dancing like a Mexican, drinking tequila like a Mexican, so-called Mexican, fighting like a so-called Mexican. Okay? So what? And they say, if it walks like a horse, if it walks like a dog, barks like a dog, eats like a dog, well what? It must be a dog. So if it walks, talks, acts like an Israelite, acts like a Jake, that's Jake, man. This is Hosea chapter 7, verse 8. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned.
Yeah, Ephraim has mixed himself among the people. And that's all the northern kingdom. Alright? The southern kingdom too. You know? He is a cake not turned. Meaning if you leave a cake unturned, when you pull it out, the top side is gonna be burnt and it's gonna be dark all the way down to the middle. And then when you flip it over, it's gonna get lighter and lighter. And that's what the scripture is saying. Because the seed is mixed amongst all these nations. So you got all different types of colors, you got all different types of facial features, facial structures, all right? Out of Jake, man. Because Jake is mingled amongst the heathen, all right? It tells you the holy seed is mixed. Not meaning that you're not, and that doesn't mean that, oh, you're part this and part that. No, you're an Israelite no matter what. But you're mixed with the DNA of these other nations, man. And that's why your features get changed, all right? That's why you could have a so-called Mexican that looks like an Amalekite. Looks like a Spaniard. All right, but that just because it looks a certain way, that doesn't mean that's who his bloodline is. That doesn't mean that that's who his family actually is, man. Because whether you confusing a face or not, whether you look like another nation or not, this scripture still applies. Jeremiah 12:9, my heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. So all these nations, whether you look like them or not, are still against you. Esau's still against you. If you look like an Edomite, but you're actually a Jake, man. Hey, Esau still wants to kill you, man, because he knows the truth. He knows about this. He knows about bloodlines, man. That's why they're so heavy into inbreeding, man.
And it's a spiritual difference, right? Our people being good, and Esau, the white man, is the devil. He's evil.
Go walk a mile.
So there's a story about a Judite that was hanging out with a whole bunch of Edomites.
I don't know.
You know, they were friends growing up, friends in college, high school. You know, and one day they were getting drunk and they fucking killed him, man. They killed him. Showing you that these other birds, these other nations are against our people. No matter how much you try to get along with them or be friends with them, there's a spiritual difference, man. And through the spirit, Esau being the devil, he knows that he hates you, man. He hates our people.
What you want to do?
You know, this is Romans 8, verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. This Bible, these scriptures, is a spirit. So the Spirit bear witness with our spirit that we are the Israelites, man. Okay, we fit these prophecies, man. We can see another Israelite because we can see the spirits on these people, man. All right, we can tell just by talking to somebody that's an Israelite. See the way he is, that's an Israelite. Like China Mac. We were listening to China Mac on the way to camp. That's a Jake, that's an Israelite. Okay, he raps kind of like 6ix9ine, which I believe 6ix9ine stole that style from him.
Man, he's smacking on 6ix9ine though.
And he goes hard, man. And you can tell that's a Jake. The way he talks, he's missing a fucking tooth. Hey, if you're missing a tooth, that means you got into some fights or something.
Yeah, he's a hoodlum.
That's a hoodlum.
He's a straight up hoodlum. He's a goddamn hooligan.
You know? With the Spirit bear witness with our spirit that we are Israelites, man. We can see the wicked vibration of Jake on them and tell that that's an Israelite. Then we can see another brother that's in the spirit or fresh in the spirit coming in. You know, the Lord's dealing with them, supping with them, converting them, and we can tell he's an Israelite. All right, just like the brother in GMS Great Waters.
Yeah.
He's a Sicilian. You can tell that that's a Jake. Whether he's a Judite or a Benjamite or a Levite, you can tell he's a Jake. All right, the brother Rob Mayum, Israelite foreigners. You can tell that's a Jake.
Yeah, hey, that brother Rob, man. The way he talk, man.
You got that Ephraimite.
Hey, man, he's like gangster with it, bro.
Yeah.
You can tell that's a real Jake. He's like a straight up warrior too, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell by his spirit. He got like a Northern Kingdom spirit on him. You see it.
Yeah. It's fucking ridiculous.
Oh. Yeah. Or that brother GMS rapping his wolf.
Yeah, it's Akizab.
He was, yeah, Akizab. You know, how you gonna tell me that this dude, because you know he looks like a so-called white boy, right? He's gonna be around all them Judites, man. He's gonna be around all them Judites and just be vibing with them, be out there preaching the truth with them, all right, condemning Esau, all right, doing the things that he's doing. But that's a Edomite? That don't make no sense in the world. You telling me that a bunch of brothers in the spirit ain't gonna be able to tell that that's an Edomite preaching the truth with them? Nah, man, that's not Esau, man. That's a Jake, man. You guys are funny.
This is Romans chapter 10, verse 14. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in whom?
Yeah, because how are you gonna call upon somebody you don't believe in? Alright? I don't believe in Buddha. So you ain't gonna hear me praying to Buddha. I don't believe in the shit. I don't believe in Allah. So you ain't gonna hear me praying to Allah. Because I don't fucking believe in it. The same way, you ain't gonna hear none of these people praying, sincerely praying to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, because they don't believe it. How are you gonna pray? You can't pray to something that you don't believe in. You won't have the motivation to do it.
Esau don't believe in our power.
Hell no.
You know? Now they believe, the elite know he's real, but they don't believe in him, they don't trust in him, they don't worship him. Because if they did, they wouldn't be jacking up these people, man. Planning to exterminate these people. Okay?
And they hate the Lord, man. They hate Yahweh. Yahweh Shai's a Jake, man. And they hate Jake.
This is Romans 10 and 14.
Like I mentioned to this one dude I was talking about, the actual image of Yahweh Shai. And he told me a story about like his uncle or something. And and somebody told him like, "Oh well, you know, Jesus is black," and he said, "Not my Jesus." And that's how these so-called white people are. These ones that are Christians in these churches. You try and tell them the true, what Yahweh Shai actually looks like. That's what they'll tell you, man. Not my Jesus.
Even 2/3 will say that.
Yep.
So a man that believes in Yahweh